think we can set the stove up on some pads instead of the feet, which will lower it and let us get outboard a little bit more. I think that that's where we're going to want it. So let's see what that looks like. I like that so much better already. There's a couple things still left to do for the install here. Like I said, we've got to caulk all these seams, and you know a good compound, I'm all ears. And the stove also...
Alright, I think that's everything. In place. Sorry, this was kind of impromptu. We're not actually a full team, but we're going anyways. So obviously I am on a blaster. And my voice is doing a little better, just not much better. Oh, that's some good lag. Shuffle or something? Yo. Yes, I forgot. Something YouTube Music does that occasionally drive me absolutely bonkers is that if you tell it to click on a playlist, but you're not actually inside the playlist and you click on play at the start of the playlist, it automatically shuffles the playlist, which is sometimes incredibly annoying. Yeah, I'm just like yawning big time. I had to. Yeah, there's just like this lump in my throat. Alright, anyways, on a different topic, the laptop that I streamed this morning, I've actually got it up and running on Windows 10. And it's surprisingly zippy. I mean, like, zippy for normal tech, like office work, for browsing web pages. It's still like it's heavy. It's not really that fast in terms of if you wanted to actually do something. You know, if you're trying to edit images, edit video, or maybe do some more something like research where you need to have lots of data points open at once, lots of windows open, lots of maybe calculatory programs. I mean, it's not really a good workstation. That's one I lost. Anyways, but moving it to a Serial ATA drive, definitely there's a significant uptick in the kind of performance I was expecting. Now, something else that I'm kind of a little surprised on, I'm having an easier time getting performance out of Windows than I am out of Linux. And I suspect this is due to the unique driver matrix. I'm not really sure which driver is being turned on when the system starts. As mentioned earlier, no, I'm not really that much better. So I may have to go grab something to during the zone changes. Okay, yeah, I probably should. I'm going to toss this on auto. I'm going to target that. Let's get back into it. Alright, so oof. That did not feel good. Anyways, I'm not sure this is a problem that I would experience on the Debian side of things. Part of that is I am much more familiar with working with Debian tools. And I'm really tempted to swap to KDE Neon. Simply because I'm more familiar with that. Part of the reason, and I've said this before, my Steam Deck has not shipped yet. Don't know when it's going to ship. It's still saying Q3, even though I was first wave, so go figure that. So I've been kind of trying to force myself to work with the same platform for a near identical platform that Valve themselves are working with. And I had someone on Discord ask why wasn't I, I hadn't. It seems the cat has decided to join us. They asked why I hadn't considered a Red Hat distribution to work with, and I kind of snickered. Okay, so this is completely random, completely beyond the reasonable point of any topic, but I've never found Red Hat systems, any of them, anything based on Fedora Core, to be worth looking at, or I've never got the impression that they were for the sort of like, how do I it's like, I want to say something that's incredibly rude, and that's, and I kind of have to step back a few paces. I've made no secret of, I have no respect at all for GNOME. I've backronymed them as got no organization, messy experience. I mean, basically, if you're not familiar with the GNOME clique's history, GNOME basically started as a desktop environment of, it didn't even start as a desktop environment. It started with people who were ticked off at the time Trolltech, who had created the Qt development tools and were creating desktops with the Qt development tools. However, Qt and the Trolltech desktop were not free software, and when I say free software, I don't mean price free. I mean Libra software. So GNOME was originally started as those who were unhappy with the lack of a Libra license on Trolltech's Qt. They were just going to make their own copy of Qt called Harmony. And at the same time that the Harmony project was going on, that they were going to just copy Qt, they had also decided that they were going to adopt somebody else's toolkit to make their desktop interface. So they adopted the GIMP, the new image manipulation programs toolkit, which is where GTK comes from, GIMP toolkit. They adopted GIMP's toolkit to make their desktop interface GNOME. And the thing is, the GIMP toolkit was never really designed to make applications on the scale that you, theoretically need to make a usable desktop, not just the interface, not just what users have in front of them. Wow, how did I get all my toggles dropped? Did I just run out of endurance and not notice? I mean, that's a probability. Anyways, so GTK was never really designed to do what it was being asked to do, and when you start with a broken base, you can yes, you can take it somewhere, but you're never going to get an astoundingly good program out of it. And the rub in it all is the GNOME Clique succeeded. The GNOME desktop, the GNOME experience, the everything around GNOME was so disruptive that Trolltech eventually, and the backing behind go with incarnate components, or just basic. Basically, the GNOME Clique, they won. Are we doing a... I'm not sure if we're swapping for a 10 major or not. Alright, we have... apparently we have a few who are alting for 10, so we'll go ahead and alt as well. We'll take another blaster. Not a blaster, but this should be interesting. Because I think the last time I broke this one out... what I'm not sure of is why I was all the way up there. Queue up. Alright, anyway, so the GNOME Clique, they won. Trolltech eventually released Qt under a Libra software license. The KDE E.V legal foundation basically has secured the legal right to where if what's now the Qt Foundation does not update the open source version, then the KDE Free Qt Foundation has the right to release the Qt codebase under a MIT style license, which basically means you can do whatever you want with it, don't have to contribute any changes back. No kind of copy left restrictions on it. But the thing is, when the GNOME Clique had won, instead of, okay, doing what they said they were going to do, which is once they had won and forced Qt into free software, they didn't turn around and start building GNOME atop Qt. In fact, they tripled down on using the GIMP toolkit. And as far as I'm aware, the GIMP toolkit has never been recreated from the ground up to be an actual toolkit for making applications on the scale that a desktop environment needs. I mean, I may be wrong about that, but I don't see anything in the code history to suggest that. So the GNOME Clique has basically from the start always come across as problematic. It's like hardcore ideologues who nothing is ever good enough. no bar. Every time you meet the bar that they've set, they just move the goalpost. Now, if this reminds you of a particular political party, it might not surprise you to realize that some of the financiers of the Free Software Foundation and some of the political actions taken by members of the Free Software Foundation do align with the political party, that nothing you ever do is good enough, and every time you meet the goals they set, they just move the goalpost because now it's something else. And it really has turned me off of ignoring anything going on with Richard Stallman himself, and that whole mess. Because that's a Saint. If you're not aware of the Saint Lucius portrayal, consider yourself very lucky. So avoiding trying to step out of there is, there's been a history link here between the political affiliations of the ideologues who said one thing once the goalpost was met, oh no, we're not going to do what we said we were going to do, and the corporate companies who backed them. I don't like RPM distros because they backed the Gnome Clique when the Gnome Clique was basically shown to be a bunch of liars who didn't have any standards, didn't care what you did, didn't care if you met all of their expectations. They're just going to do whatever they're going to do, and double barrel middle finger to you. So I've never been, and I think this carries over to Red Hat, and this carries over into things like System D, where most people in the open source communities really don't care about some of those aspects. Is System D better than what it's replacing? Well, if it's technically better or can be made better, if it can be made better or has a better base, and you don't like something that it does, well, just change it and fork it. It's open source software. That's kind of the point of it. And if the upstream doesn't want to accept your changes, well, they don't accept your changes. Just keep rolling on. And it's always soured on me that every time I've tried an RPM Fedora-based, Red Hat-based distribution, it's always felt incomplete. It's always felt like something was missing in the construction. Oh, hey, when did I... wait, who's... Okay. It's like, I do not want the star. Here, have the star back. Oh, well, this is going to be painful. Maybe I shouldn't have grabbed the whole chain. just hit me. May have a shot if Ken's with us. Let's get those toggles. All right. Need you in a minute. I need you. Let's move. Yeah, just good. It's Clarion. Clear. Anyways, due just to all of the interactions that I've ever had with the Gnome Clique, and anyone who works with the Gnome Clique, I just don't want to deal with them. I don't want to really deal with corporations or businesses that back the Gnome Clique. And while I do believe in Libra software and open source software, so much of the Gnome Clique's behavior towards open source software has just been lip service. That is honestly really frustrating. just... Thank you, whoever just filled me back. What's normal reactive? Never got around to anything degenerative to it. With some good lag. Feel me.
Rise and fall, no system eternal, and no one immortal. Creation all
I'm not positive. Oh wow, very rare. Gosh. Pretty sure I want degenerative. Self-evolving alloy. Now,